Hello and welcome to the Media Center's series of Local Heroes, in which we showcase a total of 5 people from Atherton, East Palo Alto, Menlo Park, and Stanford for outstanding achievements or contributions to the community. We solicited nominations and were particularly interested in the unsung heroes. Each winner is an inspiration and each has a great story to tell. We're here at Cafe Baroni, right next to Kepler's in downtown Menlo Park, both of which, as you know, are local heroes in their own right. Pam Rosekrans has opened a shoe store in downtown Palo Alto. It's a women's shoe store, and you can also get a pedicure. But it's not an ordinary shoe store, it's a charity. All the proceeds go directly to support the Global Fund for Women. Pam, thank you for coming. Congratulations on your award. You have been a stay-at-home mother, a devoted stay-at-home mother for years. You don't need to work outside the home, and this is a huge undertaking. Why?
I decided to do this because I've been thinking for a long time how to reconcile my life. You know, I'm very fortunate and blessed with what I have, and I wanted to do something for a cause I believed in, and the Global Fund is such a cause, an organization. And it seemed like a natural thing to do because my best friend from high school started this model of pedicures and shoes, and her store is called Tootsie's, and her sister opened one and another friend opened one, and when my daughter, who's 27, lives in Portland, decided to open one, I helped her with it. And I thought, well, I could do this and travel with my best friends and my daughter and shopping, and yet I didn't need the money, so I thought I'd open it for Global Fund for Women.
Now, you've only been open a couple months.
Yes.
How's business?
It's phenomenal. It's fun because I have other business owners to talk to. I have Nini, my best friend, and I can ask how I'm doing in comparison to the rest of the stores, because there's 11 total. And
how are you doing?
Yeah, off the charts. I'm doing really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, why do you think that is?
I think it's a couple of reasons. I think that I've been in the community for a long time, so I have a great support system with all my friends. And I think once women heard that it was going to support Global Fund for Women, I get women in there who just love that, who just love that their money's going to help support women around the world, as opposed to help get somebody rich. You know? So,
well, actually, let's talk about that. There does seem to be a certain irony. The ultimate icon for decadence, I think, is often, people think of pedicures and shoes, indulgence, and yet it's going to women who may not even be able to afford shoes. What's the psychology? How does that play in?
Well, I think women need to feel good about themselves wherever they are. And in every culture, we do it differently. And I think it's very important that whether I open the store or don't open the store, women are going to get pedicures and buy shoes. And if a woman can do that, knowing that she can help another woman's circumstance someplace else in the world, I just thought it was worth giving it a try. And you know, really try to walk in another woman's shoes.
Which is the name of your store,
right.
In her shoes,
right.
Which I didn't mention. Well, do you think, is it too maybe crass to say it's guilt-free shopping to some women?
I don't know. I haven't.
Or guilt-free pampering or something?
Yeah, I suppose for some women it could be. I can't speak for every woman. I just know that I think women purchase, whether they're giving to a charity or not. They like shoes, they like pedicures, they like feeling good. I know I always like that quiet time, getting a pedicure, closing my eyes and having some quiet time in the midst of a busy life. Yes.
Tell me about, you've had some unusual customers, well, some memorable customers. Tell me about some of your
some memorable customers. I had one lady who came in and she was buying a purse and a scarf and shoes, and as soon as she had made her decision about what she wanted, she just sort of stood dazed in the center of the store, and I asked her if she was okay, and she said, she was on her way to signing her divorce papers, and she wanted to make sure her husband knew what he was going to be missing. And as she said that, tears spilled over her eyes, and I was so touched that she shared that with me. And I don't know, it's a place where I just feel like I love it because women talk. We talk and we share our experiences, and you know, it's just a great place to be. I like the energy there.
What's the best part?
The best part, that I'm meeting other wonderful women. I think that's the best part. Yeah, and just to see, and something that I hadn't really thought out. I knew that I was going to be giving the money to Global Fund, but I didn't really think out that it would actually bring more attention to them, that more women would become aware of who they are, what they are, and be interested in supporting them, not just through my store. That's a good part. I like that.
So you also, it sounds, in recruiting people to come work for you, how did you go about that?
Everything seems to me like it's just fallen in place. Like it's been very effortless on some levels, and certainly hiring Lisa, who manages the store, Lisa Sheridan, was effortless. I was walking through Neiman Marcus one day, and she was just so smiley, and she came up and asked me if I needed help, which I didn't. I was just walking through Neiman Marcus, and I had this impulse to go back and talk to her. I liked her way, and I wanted to tell her what pretty earrings she was wearing. And when I went back, she said, "Oh, I love your necklace," and I said, "Oh, I'm going to be carrying them at my new store," and we just started talking that way. And she loved the whole idea about working in a store that was for women, and so she came to work for me. Yeah, I was lucky. Yeah.
So how have you learned how to do this without, you didn't go to business school, you haven't had another store before. How do you learn how to run a business just almost like that from the sounds of it?
Well, I'm not sure that I know that part yet. I've just hired an accountant, and I do know how to shop and buy, and I think I'm getting a better sense of it all the time, how to run a business. And I have Nini, who's mentoring me because she's my best friend, and she's run businesses since she was 21. So I have questions, I just call her. And then you can hire people to help with the accounting or the bookkeeping and all of that. Yeah.
Is it ever daunting and overwhelming or scary?
Prior to me opening, it was scary. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and think, what makes me think I can do this? You know, what was I thinking? And then I think women all over the world are running businesses. Why not me? You know, I've run a household and I've had, success with that, so I thought I could do this. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about maybe what you've learned or what you already brought to it about women and community and the Global Fund for Women and how that works together.
Well, I think what's easy for me is I love people. I just do. I love people's stories. I love how people think. I love the differences of people. I love the likenesses of people. And so I had coming into this, the natural part of it for me was greeting people, waiting on people, seeing people be happy with whatever conversation or product they found. So in that way, that's been very natural for me, just because I love people. And then as far as Global Fund goes, I supported Global Fund financially for many years prior to doing this store. I wasn't involved on the level I am now, and I've met so many women who are involved with Global Fund, and it's just been a gift. I've really loved it. Yeah.
Do you feel that you've kind of tapped into this existing community that maybe you didn't even realize was there? Or?
Yes, I think so, and I've had women come in now and say, "Oh, so this is what I can do once my children are out of the house." Because for me, I was very nervous about that. I've loved being a mom, just loved being a mom, and I was very worried about where my sense of value would come from once my kids were off. And so it's really, that's probably one of the best things for me personally, is getting a sense of value through this store.
What have been some of the aha moments?
Aha moments. Well, I know my husband wanted me not to start this business until Sammy, my daughter who's a senior, until she was off to college. And I really worried about that. Maybe I was leaving the house too soon, and maybe I should wait until she was off. But one of the aha moments is that she loves my store, and my kids are so proud of me. I think that's an aha moment for me. I didn't know how they would be because it's taking my time away from the house. But they've been so supportive, and Sammy loves bringing her friends in, and I think it's set a really great example for her to see that her mom, after being a mom, stay-at-home mom, can do a business. Yeah.
So what have you learned from this? Or how have you grown personally?
Well, I think what I've learned from this is I feel like not anything I put my mind to I can do, and so can other women. You know, it's for anybody. You know, we just don't know we can do things until we try them. And how I personally have grown, well, I think that I just think that being an example in the community is much more important than I even thought about before. You know, really being an example, and when we have resources, to use them to an advantage to help the world. Yeah.
How has this whole experience been maybe different from what you expected?
I thought it was just going to be me in a little store, and you know, just that. You know, I didn't know it was going to reach so many women and touch so many people's lives, and women getting excited about it like they have. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the Global Fund for Women. Tell me more about what it is, what it does, and why of all the charities you chose that one.
Well, I think the most important thing for me is that I want to know that where my money goes is where the organization says it's going, and I don't want it funneled down to where it's not really reaching where the organization says that it's going to go. So, and I knew that about Global Fund. I've had many dear friends that have been supporters and been involved, personally traveling with Global Fund to other countries.
And what does Global, for anybody who doesn't know, what does it do?
Global Fund for Women is an organization that gives grants anywhere from $500 to $20,000 to any humanitarian organization for women, young women and women around the world who apply for the grants. You have to go through a process to make sure that whoever applies for the grants is going to be using the money for what they say they're going to be using the money for. Yeah.
So tell me about some of the women who around the world
have been recipients of.
Right.
For instance, in Zimbabwe, a young woman who was a victim of rape has started community centers for other young women who have also been victims. In Zimbabwe, one of the myths is that men who have HIV, by having sex with a virgin, can cure themselves. And so rape has been so prevalent among young women there. And so this woman has decided to step up and educate, and she started community centers. In fact, she started 2 small villages, which since 2002, a rape has not occurred in her 2 villages. And she educated, she teaches she has offered classes in drama and dance and teaching young girls self-esteem, and there's been 15,000 girls that have attended her schools that she started in 1999. Global Fund first grant was $8,000 in 1999, and since that time to date, they have given over $85,000 to this young woman and her programs in Zimbabwe. That's just one of many. Yeah.
Why the name of your store?
Well, it came to me because...
Which is In Her Shoes.
In Her Shoes. It came to me because I gave an event for Global Fund for Women at my home several years ago, in which I had, I don't know, maybe 100 people come to hear from Kavita, the CEO for Global Fund. And after that event, they gave me a beautiful book called In Her Hands. And it's a book that tells how women make a living around the world with their hands. So when I decided to do this store for Global Fund for Women, it seemed natural to call it In Her Shoes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
One kind of last thing, if you had advice, I'm sure you do have advice, for women on the brink of an empty nest, what would you tell them?
Well, if they felt anything like I did, like I was worried about taking a big dip emotionally because I was tied up in how I was as a mom, I would tell them to be brave, that really it's amazing what we can do when we set our mind to it. We raise children, I think the most important job in the world, so we really have abilities to do whatever we want to do. Yeah.
Now, just before we go, give me whatever information you'd like to. Tell me where your story is, where people can get information about it, any upcoming, well, not anything in the next few days,
right.
but specials. I know you have birthday parties. What else would you like to tell me about?
Yeah, we give pedicure parties, yeah, and which take place at night, and we serve food and champagne, and the store is located 644 Emerson Street in Palo Alto, and we're open Monday through Friday. We're open Saturday through Sunday, or Sunday through Saturday.
All the time.
All the time. We're open 7 days a week. That's right. And I have no special events upcoming. I'm so busy that really I just haven't planned anything other than being there and keeping it open.
I know that people missed a free pedicure at the beginning, and
well,
that
no,
sounds like
we do. We run specials, like in the month of December. With a purchase, you get a free pedicure. Yes, so we're always running specials with the pedicures, trying to get women familiar with our nail technicians and just the store itself.
Great. Okay, well, I would like to give you from us our little local hero award. I hope you will put this up in a prominent place.
Thank you.
And I hope that everybody comes down and buys shoes and gets a pedicure. And congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm very touched.
We're here at Cafe Baroni, right next to Kepler's. I'd like to encourage you to come on down, have a cappuccino, buy a book or two. And I'd like to thank Baroni's again for having us. And thank you for watching.